Welcome back. The Joburg Crisis Alliance says they're outraged by the fact that the Joburg Council has now decided to reappoint Floyd Brink back to the position of city manager. That's after the High Court in Joburg struck down his appointment, saying the process that was followed to appoint him was not legal. That's because the position had not been properly advertised. Now the council, led by the ANC and the EFF, have voted to appoint Brink back to that position. The organisation Outa is a member of the Joburg Crisis Alliance. Julius Kleynhans is with Outa. Julius, good afternoon to you. Why do you believe this was the wrong decision by the Joburg City Council?
Hi, Stephen. I think, firstly, the legislation is quite clear, as well as the judgment that Floyd Brink has been unconstitutionally and unfairly put in this position. He doesn't qualify for it, and the council hasn't followed their own processes. So we've also seen how the city has been deteriorating under his supervision and reign, and we highly question the coalition government's intention of trying to push to keep him in his position.
Do you believe they might be in contempt of court for doing this? And I can see all of the arguments about processes one could have, but do you believe they might be in contempt of court?
Yeah, we do believe they might be in contempt of court. I mean, that was clearly indicated by the judgment that they had 10 days to replace Brink in his position. Yet the council is trying to go to the Supreme Court of Appeal. In fact, they've insulted the judiciary quite substantially with their press releases, engaging and saying that the courts are interfering and there's some dubious side of it, in these judgments. So I think they need to tread carefully. But again, the question needs to be asked, why are they pushing so hard to keep him in this position? And also, what contracts and moves are played whilst he is in that position, under his signature? And I think that needs to be investigated.
Do you think that, we have all of this political infighting in the city of Joburg. We now have this fight over the city manager. Do you think this is having an impact on services in the city? And I live in Joburg. There are all sorts of problems.
Absolutely. I think it's significant. We've seen how things deteriorate over time. But now, currently, whenever there's a political change over the last year or two, you can see all officials and departments coming to a standstill until whoever takes the reins come into play. And that's not how a city should operate. It's supposed to just provide proper services. But one has to question, why, and who's getting the tenders. And I think that's really where we need to start pushing for a focus to be intended. We've also asked now for the president to engage with the SIU and get a proclamation to investigate all contracts that's been signed under Floyd Brink's reign. But also, this council, we want to see them dissolved. We need to see a council that has proper oversight and service is being rendered properly as it should be.
What kind of person should be the city manager? What kind of person would be able to actually improve the services in Joburg? And I don't know if one single person exists who could do it when you look at the scale of the problems, not just Joburg, it's other places too.
Yeah, look, I think firstly you need someone who's got strong leadership and business acumen. A municipality needs to provide services to customers, and that's the starting point. They should not be influenced by political ideologies or whoever's got oversight. So they need to be highly competent. And if you look at the budgets that the city of Johannesburg sits with, you must almost compare that with the qualities of listed companies. That's the kind of quality of people you need to attract to fulfill that position. And the last thing is, they need to earn the trust of citizens. They need to be customer-oriented and make sure that the public is not the enemy. They must make sure that they provide proper services so we get a bang for our buck.
Joburg's in a political situation that frankly looks to me unlikely to change. It's an informal coalition between parties. Residents can complain, but there isn't another election for a long time. It's a bit like Nelson Mandela Bay after 2016. Is there really any way to change the situation?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of ways to do it. Firstly, we've asked for the president to intervene and put it under administration. We're also calling on the dissolution of council so that there can be earlier elections so that we can, get rid of this current council. And also the executive. If you look at the political majority parties need to be represented in the executive committee of the mayoral committee so that there's a bit more stability in oversight, and also that there's no ability for current councils to just have a vote of confidence whenever they want to or feel like it. So there's just a bit more stability in managing the city from a political point of view. But again, you need proper leadership that can manage and hold the executives to account, the officials in the city, the people who are supposed to do the work. And there needs to be consequence management. We need to reinstate the ability for auditing investigations and then also follow through on all the criminal sanctions or criminal investigations that's been put in place over the last 3 to 5 years, of which I believe that the current Floyd Brink, about 5 to 11 of these cases, has his name on it.
Julius Kleynhans, thank you from Outa. Outa is a member of the Joburg Crisis Alliance.